2x2 formation. Road change now, we go racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action, it's go.
It's very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in, this has all got trouble written all over it. This is G3 cars.
Drop downhill there, head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill, put it down from the inside line. Yes, he did. Through he goes.
Well, good evening everyone. Welcome along to Apex Online Racing Sprint Cup Series. This is season 15 if I am not mistaken. It's Tuesday, which means it is Tier 2. It's a delicious Tier 2 Tuesday. It's what we love to see. Thank you ever so much for joining us again this evening. Here at Barcelona for round 1, 60 minutes Sprint Cup. It's one mandatory pit stop with a mandatory tyre change, no refueling allowed. Absolutely packed grid this evening. Some old names that we've seen before, some new names coming in as well. Absolutely stacked grid, 39 cars out there on the grid. We're just getting towards the end of free practice. Qualifying will be starting very, very soon. And every single season I get asked the question, what is the gap time-wise between Tier 1 and Tier 2? Well, it has to be said that this time round pretty much isn't a gap. There really isn't a gap this time. The overlapping times are absolutely astounding between everybody. I say the fastest we saw in free practice was a 1:42.8. And I think all but one driver yesterday, Luke Whitehead in first practice, was in the 142s. So it was 142s, 143s, and that's what we've got here this evening, 142s and 143s. So it is about to get tasty this evening. Qualifying starting now then. Everyone pours out of the pits. Terra Grosso, see you in the chat. Thank you very much. Enjoyed your racing last night. Always good to see. Right, who is our first car out on the grid? Let's see if we can find them. So looking at the timing, it is car number 183, which is Wouter Billen. Lots and lots of names here this evening. We're going to wait till they're actually stacked up on the grid to have a proper go through. Oh, I definitely pressed the wrong button then. I went for a replay. Apologies. Here we go. Ryan Cooper, Enjoyers assemble on the way as well. So what we'll do is, as soon as car number 183 has got near the end of the laps, that's Wouter Billen, we'll have a quick jump on with them. We'll have a bit of a go through the lap as we go turn by turn, going through some of the points. Big old weave as he's coming towards the end of the circuit now. But as you can see, beautiful temperatures out there, 27 degrees track temp, so plenty of temperature. So now, coming down towards the final chicane, as you can see, lots of yellow flags and white White flags appearing on track, simply due to the fact that everyone's starting to stack up. Right, we're going to hopefully... There we go, jump on board. Apologies about the insane volume coming out of this car. But coming down the main straight now, going to be see a few moves here, I imagine, throughout the race. Hard on the brakes into turn 1, throws it in. It's a right-hander followed by a very quick left-hander. Got to avoid that big sausage on the inside. Don't want to unsettle yourself at turn 3. Super long. Rolling on the throttle now towards the end of it. Don't want to wash out too wide or you will end up picking up track limits. Foot to the floor all the way up to turn 4. It's tight in and then slowly roll the throttle onto the exit. Getting a slightly tighter line there, getting back across to the right-hand side to fling it into turn 5. Now running down towards turn 6, 7 and 8. They all kind of medley into each other. This is 7 into 8. Got to avoid this massive sausage curve on the inside. You've either got fully commit or fully avoid it. Quick lift through turn 9. Ooh, short shifting actually there. Screaming down the back straight into the hairpin that is turn 10. A little bit too much sausage, I think, on the outside. So, turn 12, long, another deceptive corner, very easy to get on the throttle too soon. Flat out up towards turn 13. Down into 14 and 15, the final chicane. And then that last absolutely nailed to the boards, right-hander back onto the main straight. This is going to be our first flying lap. So what are we seeing here? A Billum with a 1:43.625. Is anyone going to improve upon that? So far, Billen holding on to that fastest lap. God, just look how many cars are on the circuit, all fighting for a little bit of clean air. Jimmy Holm, the homing missile, good to see him back. He puts himself up into 3rd place. Oh, and there we go. A Bentley gets itself on the top. Stamenkovic getting himself up there with a 1:43.292. That is a big old jump. Now, we saw last night UK OG, Mr. George Boothby, in that absolutely honking great Lexus, got himself into pole position very early on and managed to hold on to it. So is this possibly going to be sort of that big front-engined friendly circuit? I think we had a few Bentleys there in Tier 1 last night, but not the best of luck for them. But at the moment, front row is held by the Bentley. The time's rolling in. 22 drivers have put in a time so far. We'll stick with the Bentley for a little bit longer. Well, there we go. Badowski getting up there. Meegans as well, getting himself up into 2nd place. Bjorkvist, car number 23, Bjorkvist. It's a Nissan. I mean, it's been a long old time since we've seen a GTR. I think we had one last season. But I say, this is all due to the custom BOP that we are running here now at AOR. Meaning that it's giving a bit of an opportunity for these slightly more obscure cars, such as the Bentley, the Nissan, and the Lexus. Yes, there is a Lexus. I can see Kaz Lucas is running in a Lexus, actually. Currently running down in 21st. Oh, Jimmy Holm coming through with a new fastest lap. Gonna stick on board at the moment. Actually, someone who is on a definite advantage now is Bjorkvist. And here we go in the Nismo Motul. Some of the older cars not as dependent on aero and more tyre grip is used to actually sort of gain the advantage. So they're not always as good on some of the flyers, but we did see the Lexus last night doing absolutely fantastically. I think it was -40 on the weight when it comes to the custom BOP. So in a straight line, it was an absolute rocket ship. Ryan Cooper gets himself up onto pole with a 1:43.007. And Bjorkvist tumbling down the order and actually has lost any time he was gaining. Ryan Cooper, we're going to jump on board with him, kind of a 69. It's another Bentley. Did really well last season as well, if I'm not mistaken, Ryan Cooper. I think he joined us quite late quite late in the season, but came in with a bit of a bang, doing a 1:43.077. So edging ever closer to the 1:42s. Absolutely fantastic livery on that car. Absolutely bonkers. There we go. Someone else just got themselves up onto the front row. That is Grigory Condabaro. And that's the Ferrari. Nice looking livery on that one as well. Got OGA Motorsport. BPM Soft. Oh, there we go. It's now the front row is now locked out by Bentleys. Car number 23's gone off with a yellow flag and has immediately gone to the pits, got themselves out of the way quickly. People on good runs are improving. What have we got here? We have got Buzzov. 0.2 up on their times. That will see a significant jump up. They're currently in 10th, just coming now through the final chicane. Throwing it in, got to be a little bit careful with the Ferrari on the curbs. Keeps it tidy, just within track limits. Foot nailed to the board now as he runs towards the line. 0.1 up on their time. Is it going to be an improvement? They were in 10th. Up into 4th place. Absolutely great drive by them. Who have we got further down? Let's have a little look towards the back as to who is doing big improvements. Who have we got here? That is... I think this is the first Aston Martin we've had a look at this evening. For Your Way Racing, it is Kajowski. 0.3 up on his lap time at the moment. So a little way off the leaders, but starting to really throw it in. And there we go. We've got a fair few cars now into the 142s. Stomakovic and Ryan Cooper into the 42s now. Such an incredibly long back straight, to be fair. And then you've got that absolutely anchored up, throwing into that left-handed hairpin at the end of it. Great opportunities for overtakes there as well, especially if you can get a decent run through turn 9. You can get a lovely little run down that back straight. Either try and go the long way around the outside or anchor up and try and get your nose down the inside of that hairpin. Saw some risky moves at turn 1 yesterday, but nothing too crazy. We definitely saw one getting together. Oh, massive improvement. There you go. Kachowski up into 10th place. What a jump, and dives into the pits. Obviously very, very happy with that lap time. At the moment, I can only see one driver out there on an improvement, and that's Nestorov. Up into 14th place. Nice little improvement for him. Still going for it, sticking it out for now. Anyone else on an improvement? We've got Calvin Lejekas. Oh, there we go. And they're very, very brightly coloured Porsche. If I'm not mistaken, this is the same Porsche that took part in the... Oh, no, it's not. It's a very similar colour scheme to the Grello Porsche that we saw at the 12 hours of... where was that? That was Bathurst this weekend. Or just this weekend just gone. Well, it's been a very long week since then. I'm pretty sure the Grello car actually won. Oh, and Lejek is obviously deciding to bail out of that one. Right, is anyone on a flyer, and are they improving? Yes, this gentleman right here, car number 31, the Ferrari, Kondabarov. So that's my dyslexia kicking in there. Currently running equal to their best lap time. There's always room for an improvement to see what they can do. So 3.5 minutes of qualifying left. So realistically, you could just about squeeze an out lap and then your flying lap in. Yes, here we go. Grigory is on an improvement. It's so... the margins are so tight, but he doesn't need much to get another position. 0.2 up on the lap at the moment, so running towards the line. What are we going to see? Up at a second place. Ryan Cooper is demoted down into third place on the grid. Who have we got here? Kaz Lucas. Oh, in a lovely great Lexus. Another one of these cars that has been revived by the custom BOP. It's come back. Currently running in 25th place. Could see a bit of an improvement. Some big names right down the bottom of the grid at the moment. Robert Arlavi and Matthew Bouquet. Both of them right towards the bottom of the grid. Very surprised to see them that far down. It really does go to show the quality of racers that sort of come into us. Oh, and there you go. Kaz Lucas bailed out on that lap, obviously giving himself a little bit of air in front of him. So Kaz Lucas decided not to go with it that time round. Someone else on a little bit of a flyer though. Or in Megan's. It's for the... oh, I'm trying to think how to pronounce that one. Infelix Racing. Sorry, Infelix Racing. That all-white Ferrari. Just currently throwing it up through turn 9. So at the moment, Stamenkovic has not been dethroned, holding on to his spot for now. Jimmy Holm on a flyer as well. Actually, yeah, Megan's, who are on board with now, has dropped right off. So people to keep an eye on. Badowski, 0.3 up on their lap at one point then. But I think they lost it all at the end of that pit straight. I mean, the back straight, which is a bit of a shame. Jimmy Holm, another driver who is just about improving, is in 9th, but he's got traffic in front of him. That's not what the homing missile is going to want. I imagine there'll be lights furiously flashing. But then again, if everyone else in front of him is also on a qualifying lap, it doesn't really matter. One of the Ferraris does dive out the way, obviously feeling the pressure. Kubacki also looked to be making a small improvement. Bjorkvist making slight improvements. Chris Vinning, Jonathan Clifford as well. That's another name we see back this season. Jimmy Holm seems to have dropped off the pace a little bit. We're going to jump on board with someone we haven't seen yet this evening. Chris Vining or Chris Vinning. I'm going to go probably Vining for the T1 SR in the AMG Mercedes. Currently running in 24th, but he's 0.2 up on his lap, so that should see him with a decent jump up the grid if he can hang on to it. Didn't really see the AMG here last night. Lots of other cars, but didn't really see the AMG much on the grid. There we go. Qualifying is officially over, so this is everybody's final chance. I think car number 728 is the last car out there on a flying lap. Oh, and what happened there? Vining was still up on his lap, but then decided to abandon it, so not entirely sure what happened there. I can only presume made a mistake on that final turn and may have invalidated it. Jonathan Clifford, the purple and black Lamborghini, flies towards the line. Is there going to be an improvement? Yes, up into 19th place. Who have we got here? We've got Davey Hill, who is on improvement. This is the 555 car. Long way down the grid, but could see a decent improvement here. They were 0.1 up, 0.2. It's sort of flicking between the two, though. I think he lost a little bit of time there. We're going to see here towards the line was in 38th and finishes 29th. Good improvement. Someone on a really nice improvement here as well. And it is Schweitzeski in the Your Way Racing Nissan GTR. 0.2 up on his lap time, currently running in 40th place. But this should see a nice little improvement. Just noticing Lucas Ziege all the way down in 39th place. That's a huge drop for them. Rightio, well, that is the end of qualifying. So all the cars will be going to the grid pretty soon. We can have a good read through all things timetable related. Let's have a little look now. So qualifying. So while we're here, we can have a bit of a run through. And you can also see over to the right-hand side of your screen, you can see the weights that are applied to the drivers or removed from the drivers as part of the BOP system, all using ballast. So we should be able to, well, it's not going to let me for whatever reason. There it is. We know. Oh, that's a lovely looking banner, isn't it? I'm sure everyone at home is really enjoying looking at a banner. Let's see if we can find a slightly better angle. There we go. We'll have a run through the grid from this view. Right, so on pole position is Milos Stemanovic. Absolutely fantastic lap from him. Second place is Kondabarov. Third place, Ryan Cooper. So the Ryan Cooper fans will be incredibly excited about that one. Sebastian Erdmann in fourth place. Nestorov in fifth. Kubacki in sixth. Bozov in seventh. Fernandez eighth. Oh, this is a new name to us this evening. So this is I do apologise. Naskadesh Ivili. Might be shortening that one to David, I do believe. I do apologise. Jimmy Holm, the Holming Missile, down in 10th place. Oren Megans, 11th place. Lejekas, 12th place. Badowski, 13th place. Kachowski in 14th place. Alter Billen, 15th place. 16th is Balaki. So now running down a little bit lower. 17th place, Brinker. Yep, Brinker, that's the one. De Brouwer, 18th place. Van Veen in 19th place. Jonathan Clifford, 20th place. So that's nearly half the grid done. Nathaniel Shirley, 21st place. Joinovic, sorry, I do apologise. Dusan, we're probably going to shorten that one to Dusan. That's a lot quicker to say for me. I'm sorry about my English tongue. 22nd, Bjorkvist. Down in 23rd, Benjamin King. 24th, Chris Vining. 25th place. Lovely. I'm a bit of a Mercedes sucker, I'm afraid. So probably will end up on stream a fair bit this evening. Porker Robert, 26th place. James Cowley, 27th. Azami, 29th place. Brunoir down in 29th. Sorry, yes, Azami was 28th. 29th is Brunoir. Davy Hill, 30th. Kaz Lucas, 31st. Samuel Tadic, there's a returning driver that we've seen many times. 32nd place. Kalusi in 33rd place. Van Someren in 34th. Uvalic in 35th. Mr. Jones, 36th. Robert R. Larby, another returning driver, 37th place. Igor Kristinic down in 38th. Lucas Zige all the way down in 39th place in that bright white Porsche. Trajewski down in 40th place. And rounding out the grid at the back is Matthew Bouquet. And by the looks of it, that's sharing the same livery as I believe Luke Whitehead was running last night in Tier 1. So, oh, goodness gracious, after all of that, I've got absolutely no voice left, and we've still got 48 seconds until the outlap begins. You can get an idea of just how big the grid is. Looking back there, if you ever get the opportunity to go to this circuit to Catalunya in Barcelona, well worth it. You can actually pretty much get a train from the centre of Barcelona all the way out into the middle of nowhere, and then a bit of a half an hour walk, and you kind of seem to just disappear into the middle of nowhere, and then suddenly, oh, there you go. There's a giant racetrack. You just keep following the noises of cars, and you'll eventually get there. Did go there last year, actually. God, all the way back in 2023. Sort of early October, went over there, and it was absolutely fantastic. So, if you're a fan of esports and esports racing, I do really recommend trying to get to the closest track to you and going to have a look at it. It doesn't need to necessarily be GT3, but just go and experience motorsport for real as well. It's so good, and it will only make you desperate to get home and get on your sim. But here we go. Outlap is beginning. I daren't even say, let me know in the chat who you predict is going to win, because I know the Ryan Cooper fans are going to come absolutely crawling out from all sorts of places and filling the chat. So, but still, do let me know. Or if there's any drivers in particular or teams you want to get on screen, let me know and I'll do my very, very best to try and get them up there. But just look at that absolutely fantastically mixed grid. So due to that new BOP that we're running, we've got Bentleys, Ferraris, Aston Martins, Nissans, BMWs, McLarens, Lamborghinis, Porsches. There's an AMG, there's a Lexus. It's an absolute who's who. It's going to be very interesting to see what these cars can do here this evening. We saw what the Lexus could do in the hands of George Boothby last night. So being asked if I can give the British drivers a bit of a shout out. Also, let's have a bit of a scroll through. So we have got, scrolling through, Benjamin King. Who else have we got here? Scrolling down through the lists of names. I believe Davey Hill is a Scottish driver. James Cowley as well. More names. Nathaniel Shirley and Chris Vining. So not as many as normal. Usually there's quite a decent amount of British Isles drivers. But this season, it seems to be a lot more of the European drivers have made their way in, which is always good to see. It is lovely to see people from all over the world racing here with Apex Online Racing. So here we go, everybody stacking up, getting ready for that first round. I'm not entirely sure what's gone on with the timing board, unless it happened right at the end. But Ryan Cooper's on pole, which I didn't think he was on pole, but for whatever reason he is appearing on pole. So I think that's just the timing board throwing a bit of a wobbly, because he's definitely down in third. I think, yeah, the timing board has just thrown a bit of a wobble. So surely that will probably rectify itself at some point. But this is the final run to the line. Lights go green and they are off down towards turn one. Keeping an eye on our leader now as they head down towards turn one. In fact, let's go back to the heli camera, try and keep an eye on the madness. It's so wide in the background. Everyone flying down in. It looks like there was a little bit of argy-bargy there at turn one. Everyone seemingly kept themselves together. Oh, car number 555. I've seen a yellow flag for that one. Lots going on here at the front there. We're not going to try and jump back and keep an eye on any of that quite yet. The car number 555 has recovered. Oh, I did just see a drive-through appear from somewhere. So letting the timing board sort themselves out. There we go. And now the timing boards sort themselves out a little bit at the front. Our top three drivers. Ooh, car number 7 as well now has rotated. Going to keep an eye on this little lead pack just for a little bit of time. Not going to go too far away. The two Bentleys really trying to run away with it, but the Barov is trying to hang on to the back of them, and you can just see the stream of cars all the way into the background to get an idea of just how many cars they're on. They are completely filling this back straight end to end. Just a fantastic turnout. It is always brilliant to see. So now coming through, this is turn 12 down towards 13, so coming towards the completion of the first lap. As far as I can see, oh, kind of a 66 had a brief yellow flag there. Did keep themselves going, so whether or not that was contact or just a little bit of over rotation possibly on the brakes, very easy to do there. But now we can see that our top 3 are trying to break away, and especially our top 2, the Bentleys, absolutely pushing for it. Right, we're going to go back a little bit because there seems to be a lovely little battle going on. It's further back than that. Where are we looking? It's those three there. That's what we want to look at into turn one. Seeing a move up the inside now. Going to be pushed to the outside on turn two, but they might be able to hang on to it if they can just keep it together. This is Pokorokaba. And yes, gets the move done. Good move into turn one. Managed to hold it together, kept it clean with Van Veen. And Van Veen is now under attack as well from the Ferrari, trying to go around the outside. That is Bilicki. Not able to do it and leaves himself vulnerable. And there is now Alexis up his inside as well. So close together. I think the Ferrari's just going to have the run off the corner. And yes, shuts the door, gets the job done, holds on to that position really nicely. Nice little bit of driving there. Managed to hold on to it. But that move by the Porsche, that was absolutely fantastic. Pokorokaba, absolutely great little move. That is going to be a driver to keep an eye on, I think, as this season continues, because that kind of move is spot on. That was a really clean but decisive move. So going back a little bit now, on with Bjorkvist. See Bowes in front, Bowes behind. He's going to be the best car to keep an eye on for the moment there. We're actually now going to go over to the more standardised cameras. Now the absolute madness of lap one is complete, but the battle going on just in front. Kaz Lucas versus King. BMW versus Lexus. Lexus gets on the inside. A little bit of a rub. Oh, and that was one of the Ferraris getting knocked round. I think that was Tadic. Just a little bit of a rub as they went in, but the Lexus now absolutely flying away. Kaz Lucas gets past Benjamin King and is now on the fly. Bjorkvist looks like he's on the attack here as well. Oh, we're going to have to jump back up the front, I think, in just a second now. Pretty sure. Yes, here we go. The battle going on in front. The two Bentleys trying to fly away from it. Is looking like Kondabarov is being now hunted down as well by Erdmann. You can see Ryan Cooper already looking for that aggressive move. He's darting from left to right, showing the nose up the inside, trying to unsettle. I mean, these two cars should be able to handle the giant sausage curbs fairly well. I think that's where their advantage might come. Again, absolutely fantastic to see this fleet of cars coming down the back straight, and they're still pouring on. A little look up the inside there. So far, nothing too audacious has gone on near the front. Let's have a little jump back down the back again. Bjorkvist goes round, manages to escape the track. Let's see if we can go back and keep an eye on what happened there. So we're going to go on for the helicam. Looks to go a little bit deep there. Definitely slowed himself down through turn 8. How does it do through turn 9? He's got the BMW behind him. Again, the BMW, a much more up-to-date car. It's going to have significantly better aero. It's in the slipstream as well. Pretty sure the incident was here at the corner. Oh, and he just gets bumped in behind. You saw the BMW try to avoid, but just left it a little bit too late and did rotate the car. But that's not too bad of a drop. I think he's only dropped 2 places. Obviously not what they would have wanted, but 2 places is significantly better than absolutely losing out completely. So back to this front battle. Bentley versus Bentley. Stamankovic versus Cooper. And at the moment, the two of them keeping each other honest. Kondabarov, I imagine, is just hoping that these two are going to start tripping up over each other. And they can possibly try and take advantage and move on through. I say early in the race at the moment. Obviously, they've got quite nice fresh tyres, but they're also carrying a lot of fuel. There's no refueling allowed during these 60-minute races, only during the 90-minute races that come later on in the season. So we can have a little jump back further down the grid again. Jonathan Clifford in a bit of a sandwich between Pokorokaba and Vining, and looking to the inside now. Vining not able to do anything there. Sticking on the back of them reasonably well. It is going to be under attack there. I've just got to say, I love the colours on that Porsche. That 187 is stunning. It's kind of an obscure browny gold. Can we a bit of a sucker for an old browny gold colour? at the moment. Clifford holding on to the position. It's getting mighty close at the other end of the straight, though. Car number 728 versus car number 966. Oh, and they get together through turn 2, and the Porsche looking to take advantage of it and does dive up the inside. Can he get a run? No, he can't. Might be able to get a better exit here. No, not quite. So David manages to hold onto it over Kubacki, and Lejeka's now looking to try and take advantage of this little squabble. The top 5 cars now starting to break away a little bit. Car number 728 is appearing to be a little bit of a cork in the bottle, and after that turn 2, argy-bargy, it's definitely opened up that gap even more, but now it does look like Kubacki is struggling to get away from the Porsche of Lejeka's. Everyone into the braking zone, keeping it super clean. It's really good to see that the standard of driving has vastly improved since last season. We'll say that anyway. There was a little bit choppy last season. Little battle going on in the background here, though. Fernandez versus Jimmy Holm, the homing missile. He was right on the back of that BMW one corner ago. Seems to have lost a little bit of ground. I think he went to try and throw a move up the inside and wasn't quite able to. Took him offline, slowed him down. Oh, and I think we've just seen an incident in the final chicane. Yes, car number 25 has gone round. That is Nathaniel Shirley. What happened there? I think we just saw it in the back of the shot. So went wide. Oh, a little bit of a bump there. And then we've got Lamborghini up the inside, giving him plenty of space, and dips back in behind. So I think we were looking at the cars just in front. What happens here? Oh, and a very big shunt there from car number, I think that was 524. So that's car number 524. Gets into the back of Nathaniel Shirley, which was car number 524. Let's try and have a look. That was, oh, that's Chris Vining, one of the British drivers. Easy to make mistakes here, though. Nestorov has now taken away the fastest lap of the race, running in 5th place. But the 2 Bentleys haven't really been able to escape the same way that we saw the Lexus last night escape. They've still got a decent little following. Both those Ferraris and Erdmann and the 409 Aston Martin are keeping them close. Certainly not going to let them get away. They're not fighting too hard as well, those 3 drivers behind. So they are still putting in decent lap times. A quick jump on with Nestorov, who's running in 5th place with that fastest lap. So currently with a 1:43.697 as our fastest lap in this race. Certainly nothing to be snipped at this early in the race. Just about 10 minutes of it done. And to see the really, really good lap times come in the second half of the race when they've got fresh tyres, they're running a lot less fuel. That's when we start to see some real colourful driving coming out. Nice little train of cars coming down into turn 1. No one really going for any manoeuvres there, though. What we've got back here, Kristanich is looking like he might be trying to make a move. Goes to the inside of the braking zone. Gets it done if he can hang on to that inside line, but the 555 is not giving up easy. Oh, did shortcut the track there, though. I imagine that will be a significant track cut warning. We saw plenty of drive-throughs yesterday for track cuts. Easily done on this circuit, to be fair. But I imagine Kristanich will be a little bit upset about that. As far as he was concerned, that was his move made. Although a smart move by the McLaren there of Hill. Much better to go wide and avoid getting into another driver than it is to try and hold onto your line and then cause an incident. But now, say Kristanich is going to know he can do it, and Lucas Ige as well, hanging onto the back of them. Made some really good positions up. We're up at the 30th place already in that lovely white Porsche. I'm pretty sure he was 3rd or 2nd from the back of the grid, so that's a massive improvement. He's gained at least 10 places over the space of the race. Lucas Ige now looking like he might have a little bit of a go here at Kristanich. They seem to be a little bit tighter together. I want to say that Kristanich is now having to look in his mirrors more than he's looking forward on the attack. God, there's something just about that all-white Porsche that is just absolutely fantastic. I do like these almost slightly plainer cars. I either like absolutely ridiculous liveries or these almost... It looks like it's a rookie that hasn't got any sponsors yet. So can we see a run down here into turn 1? Is Kristanich going to be out-dragged? No, it looks like it's kept going. Azami just come into the pits. That's down in 39th place. One of our drivers coming into the pits. Oh, and another driver we just saw... That looks like seeming to be carrying some fair damage. I think that was car number 47. That's one of the Ferraris. Hopefully we're going to get this number off the side of them as they come past here. I think we did. I'm sure that was car number 47. So it is a car off the pair. It's car number 1. So that is car number 1. Let's try and find it. That's Tadic. So what happened to Tadic? I have to get back a long old way to try and find it. I think it was down here at turn 1. And we have had to go for a mighty old replay. So what happens here? Throws it into turn 1. And, oh, over-rotates. Oh, and just absolutely clatters the wall. And you can see the front-end damage on that car. And immediately knowing that the front end is not happy and stays off the racing line. I mean, fair enough. If you know you're not going to be able to, you know, take on the fight, might as well get yourself out of the way and not cause too many problems. Well, it's the longest replay, I'm afraid. We had to go back a whole minute to be able to find that incident. We only just caught it, so probably a good job we did go back that far. But I imagine that car will be coming into the pits fairly soon. So jumping on board with our battle for third place. It will jump forward to a different bit of the circuit. There we go. So the two Bentleys still going at it, hammer and tongs. They have finally broken away. I don't think those two are on the same team, but we will have a little look, shall we? Is Ryan Cooper even on a team? I know I saw his name on the list somewhere. I'll scroll through my many, many names. So Jimmy Holm is... Sorry, Ryan Cooper is on the Jimmy Holm Appreciation team. I'm going to see... So the liveries aren't the same. That's always joyous. I love it when people... team names on the liveries. It makes it so easy for us in the booth. So much easier. Right. Let's see if we can find the name in amongst this lot. So a big old list of drivers this season. Goodness gracious, that is a lot of names. Well, I appear to be being blind, as for whatever reason, it's not showing up on the list. So I can't tell you if we're on the same team or not. I've gone through the list 3 times now, and still haven't found it. So, oh yes I have. No, they're not on the same team. Might be two Bentleys, and you never know. Sometimes it looked like they were almost working together a little bit, because they're not overly fighting each other. But I think Ryan Cooper does know sometimes it's better to play the smart game and just keep going with the flow for a minute. Alright, back on board with Lejackers, who's being chased by Buzzov. He is looking mightily, mightily close again between these drivers. And that green and yellow, or the Grello. Porsche, car number 56. So we were hearing, I believe it was Luke Whitehead last night, saying that he seemed to think there was a serious problem with the tyres when it came to this circuit. He was having issues with them overheating, even though he had pretty much every vent as open as it could possibly be. So, interesting to see if anyone else has those problems. Oh, move up the inside there, I think, from Jimmy Holm. pretty sure that was a position gain. Let's quickly go back. It wasn't. He was going defensive. And he holds on to his position. Oh, a little bit of a rub there. And through comes car number 47 gaining a position. Kachowski would be very happy with that. One position gained. Sometimes just taking advantage of squabbling drivers around you makes a huge, huge difference. That is Kachowski for the Your Way Racing. This little squabble continuing on. It really is looking like that Aston is significantly quicker. Oh, a little bit of a mistake there. Now comes the McLaren. Can David do anything here? He's going to look to the outside, going to try and get a better run, but I think the Aston is going to have the legs on him. Just eking away. Manages to hold on to it. I really thought we were going to see a change of position there. Anyone else further back? David Hill. Let's try and get you up. Well, Davy Hill. Why won't that driver appear? For some reason they won't. Kristinich down in 26th place. It is showing one of the drivers there in that gap, but I think we might have lost someone. And I will say it a billion times every single season. Someone please 3D print me the Ferrari. I really want a sippy cup. A little car with a little straw. Look at it. It's just a lovely little straw hanging out the top of it. I know it's a pitot tube for getting correct speed. But I still think it just looks like a cup. So if anyone could 3D print that, get in touch. I would love one. Oh, car number 224. That was off. Where is car number 224 on the list? I'm sure it was 224. Who was that? They have gone back to the pits. And it is not letting me select that car. So was that also Tadic involved in that? I'm not sure. Annoyingly, think they have left the server immediately. So that one, I can't actually go back to select the cars to see them. Right. Ryan Cooper, with 20 minutes of the race done, is now the closest he has been the whole time. He is absolutely within sniffing distance. He'll be able to count the bolts on the back of that Bentley gearbox in front of him. He's been studying it for just over 20. Oh, and a big slide! Manages to hold it. Fair play there to Ryan Cooper. What a slide that was. Let's see if we can go back on the helicam for that one. Get a bit of a look at it. But Ryan Cooper, absolutely godlike save that was. You see if we can spot what happens here. What unsettles the car? As soon as he turns in, the back end goes. And there you go. You could hear the Tokyo Drift theme tune blaring out in everyone's ears at that moment. But it does show just how hard Cooper has been pushing to stay on the back of Stemanovic. So finally, a little bit of breathing room there. Everyone has opened up a fair bit. Fernandez coming into the pits now. Here we go. Possible move to be made. McLaren versus Ferrari. Brink just managing to hold on to it. Badowski not able to make the move. Does seem to wash a little bit wide there, though, and has left themselves open. Megan's having a little sniff now. Can Megan's do anything? Ends up washing a little bit wide, but they might have a nice run up here into turn 4. Sorry, can they do anything? Did show the nose a little bit on the inside. Not able to make it work, though, but definitely looking like the aggressor of these two drivers. One of these all-white liveries. Oh, there we go. We're just hearing now from Hill had a internet issue at home, so that is why they've had to retire from the race. Bit of a shame. So hopefully no one else was caught up in it. Sometimes the old internet disconnects can cause some right old wobbles when it comes to this race. Gonna jump on board with Kachowski, who is currently running in 11th place, chased down by Walter Billen. We saw him gain this position earlier on when they were having a little bit of a squabble. Oh, there we go. Two of our main drivers into the pits. So car number 31 and car number 46, both Ferraris into the pits. 37 minutes of the race left to go, so they're going for a slightly early pit. Walter Billen as well into the pits now. De Brouwer in the pits as well. So this is where it all gets shaken up a little bit. It's going to be Kondobarov is going to be the one to keep an eye on. Will he do any better? Fumbles down the order for now, but that is expected. They will gain those positions back. So sort of entering the halfway point of the race. We've already seen people start to pit. Usually it's sort of around this middle 20-minute mark that people go for it. Unless there's a real gain for them staying out longer on their tyres. Usually it's around the halfway mark that people go for a fresh set. See, most drivers have not completed the mandatory pit and tyre change yet. Top 23 drivers still out there at the moment with running on it. So yes, in the chat I'm seeing it there from Daniel Carey. Yes, there is a mandatory pit stop including a tyre change. So you have to do a pit stop including a tyre change, and fueling is not allowed. Here we go, cars siphoning into the pits now. We're going to jump on board with our leader. Cooper has come into the pits. Interesting to see what happens between Cooper and Stamankovic. But this is our leader at the moment, still out there. Finally getting a bit of free running. Won't have to be defensive at all, can just absolutely go for it. Here we go, moves going on a bit further back. Milovic goes through on Van Veen, gets it done. Van Veen looking to come back, but not able to. Sometimes you can almost jump straight back past the person that's got you, but it's not happening. And they've also got Kristanic right on the back of them as well. But yet you can actually see who has managed, who has done their mandatory pit stop. If you look at the left-hand side of the screen, you've got all the little amber squares next to their racing numbers with a 1 in them. They haven't completed their stops. Anyone with the green has completed their stop. There is more in-depth timing available to you as well at pit wall. I do just have realised that I haven't pinned it in the top of the race chat, so I do apologise for that one. But this squabble continuing on. Oh, a little bit of a slow line. Ah, no, there we go. Into the pits comes Van Veen. Right, so our leader is coming into the pits. So the one to keep an eye on is gonna be, where has he gone on the list of drivers? Ryan Cooper. This is going to be the driver to keep an eye on. Where is he now? He is coming through, I believe that is turn 13. No, this is turn 13. Who is going to be the big winner here between our drivers? So Cooper flying along as we speak. It's going to be super close into turn 1. Can anything be done here? He does look. He's got at least 1 lap's worth of tyre warmth into it. It's going to have to be the widest Bentley of all time, I think, to hold on to it, and actually did get unsettled again. Realistically, that was the perfect opportunity to gain the lead, and I imagine Ryan Cooper is going to be absolutely kicking himself about that one. But the other Bentley, car number 2, is going to be absolutely ecstatic about that being able to hold on. And the longer he stays in front, the more tyre warmth he's going to be able to accrue, and the better the car will handle and the more grip it will have. And towards the end of the race, you might see that tiny little flip where the tyres start to go the other way. There wasn't much of a difference between them. I'm pretty sure it was only 1 lap between them when they did decide to pit. So we're not going to see tyres massively dropping off. Oh, looks like the Aston Martin lost a little bit of ground, though. Just having a quick look at the chat as well. So I see there's a couple of like sort of rookie sim racers. Jump into our Discord, mate. It's sort of open. We have different tiers. It's not just tier 1 and tier 2. They go all the way down to tier 10 when there's enough drivers. I mean, I would like to say that I'm a completely pants racer, and I wasn't in tier 10. So even if you're a complete rookie, plenty of places there to get involved in racing. Apex Online Racing as well has lots and lots of public lobbies that you can jump into, where the normal sort of code of conduct is applied as well. So it's not just full of loads of people bumper ramming like you're playing Forza or something like that. It is all fairly clean and nice. Links for that are in the description of this stream. But yeah, jump on in. So I feel it is only right that we quickly jump on with the actual leaders, even though they're technically not the leaders. Oh, they jumped into the pits. There we go. So for a very brief moment, we had a Nissan GTR on pole position, and fair play. It might have only been very briefly, and it might have been because of the pit lanes, but it was still there. That's the main thing. It was still there on pole. So at the moment, everything's still holding together, and so this is, if you include pit stops, these are our 2 leading cars. Car number 2 and car number 69, nice, are both absolutely pushing for it. They have been the 2 front drivers for the entire race. Cooper has been right on the tail of car number 2, of Stamenkovic, but hasn't quite been able to crack that nut and get through. And in fact, it's looking like that was a lovely run off the final turn there. So most of these unpitted cars now coming in. We've just gone past the halfway point. 29 minutes left of the race. There's a split for the fastest lap. Cars number 2 drivers have both done a 1:43.670. Again, this is where we were kind of expecting some time. Oh, there we go. And now it's changed again. It's now got up to cars positions 5 and 6 have done it with... Oh no, it was just a timing board error. It was still the same cars. They've just now moved up the grid into 5th and 6th. That would have been due to pit stops, no doubt. Right, let's see if there's anybody actually going for a decent squabble here. Got Walter Billin as well, still going at it. Ten Brink behind, a buzz off as well. Oh, and to be fair, if we look as well, Kuchowski is right on the back of these drivers as well. We're looking to try and take advantage. I think Kuchowski might have lost a few positions during the pit stops. Is there anything else tight battles-wise going on? I think this is kind of it. Oh, in the back, it looks like one of the BMWs was getting a little bit tasty, but nothing too much. Megan's in the pit still. This little one here, though, we're going to go sort of in the middle of the pack and hope we can kind of keep an eye on all the drivers at once. As drivers are coming out the pits, always tends to mess with the timing board a little bit. But currently, it is, well, as it comes to actual race positions, it's going to be car number 2 of Stamenkovic is technically in first because he is pit stopped, and Ryan Cooper in second. There we go, the timing board finally sorts themselves out. These four have been fairly glued to each other. Oh, little moves going on in the background there. Was that Megan's? Yes, it was. Let's see if we can have a quick jump back and spot that one. So this is Megan's coming out of the pits. You can see the group of cars that he manages to get up onto in just a second. So has to stay all the way to the right until he gets to the corner. So he's off that main racing line, but he's got a good run. Gets on the brakes super late and does hold on. And there we go, manages to slot himself in and now has to go defensive against the BMW. But nicely done, and does manage to hold on to that position. 18th place. Could have very, very easily binned it there in amongst all that traffic, but he didn't. Held on to it nicely. So a little bit further back, we now jump on the battle. This is 13th place of Buzov. These four cars have really been absolutely going at it the entire time. Like a terrier on a rat, they have been nipping away at each other. With no clear victor yet. At the moment, though, Walter Billin has managed to hold off an absolute onslaught. Are we going to see something now, though, down into turn 1? That Ferrari does seem like it's getting a decent run. Does look to the outside. That's Brink going to the outside and managing to get the overlap to stick and through. What an absolutely fantastic move that was. Goodness gracious, the amount of grip that Ferrari had there absolutely walked all over Walter Billin. I mean, I imagine Billin's in a little bit of shock there. I think we all are. Could not believe they managed to get that Ferrari to stick the way it did. And now Bozov will be thinking, hang on, well, if he can do it, I can do it too. I'm in the same car. And he will definitely be pushing for it. And you can already see the way that Brinker is trying to escape and get down the road. And that gap has already opened up. And I think that might have been the chip in the armour for Billin. The last thing you want now is to lose focus. So here we go. There's another decent run here from the Ferrari. Who's going to get the better run through here? Billin seems to have held a little bit mid-corner speed. That Ferrari looking just a little look to the inside, looking for that gap. Is it going to open? Not quite yet. Still pushing forward. And that just behind as well. So this is Kachowski versus Budowski. All the skis. And that Your Way Racing Aston is now looking under attack from the Gulf. Lovely livery on that car, actually, on Budowski's McLaren. They're looking very, very close, and he might be in the tow here. Who's going to have the better run down the straight? I would be surprised if the McLaren can outdrag the Aston. I don't think he can. He's right there in the tow, but just not able to do anything. Maybe a big dive under the brakes might be able to sort something. No, the Aston manages to hold on to it and goes through, but a bit slow there as he exits turn 1. Kovic is absolutely flying away at the front of the grid. You can't actually see him just on our timing screen in race, but I can tell you he is over a second and a half ahead of Ryan Cooper now. Absolutely flying. Battle heating up here, though, is the battle for 4th place. Erdmann versus Kondoborov. The Aston trying to break up these doubles at the front. Still got just under 23 minutes of the race left to go, so plenty of time for moves to be done. as of yet, no attack has been made. You can see the differences in these two cars as they fly through the corners. Is the Aston going to have the legs here? The Ferrari's got decent legs on the straight as well. The Ferrari's such a lovely all-rounder at the moment. The way the BOP is working for that car, it is a lovely car to drive. If you ever felt like maybe this is the time to try a different car, maybe try one of the newer ones, now is the time to try it. And I recommend doing it with the AOR BOP installed as well. Oh, very, very deep there. That is almost certainly going to... Oh, a little bit of a rub, and the Aston goes up the inside. Just gets out brakes, but car number 409 is going to be overlapping. It's going to be on the outside now, down into turns 5. Can they get anything done? Tries to hold on to it the whole way round. Decent run off the corner, but no, isn't able to. I think there's going to be a slight overlap as they come through 6, 7 and 9. Sorry, 6, 7 and 8. Not quite able to do it, but here we go. This is where we're starting to see moves being made. This is the kind of position that makes all the difference. A little bit of a weird timing screen wobble on then. The Aston do anything this lap? Stick with this battle a little bit longer. We'll try and get that rear wing shot. There it is. So looking off the rear wing of the Ferrari, you can see the way the Aston reels him in down the pit straight, down towards turn 1. A bit of a flash. Bit of a cheeky flash there. As long as it's not excessive, that's absolutely fine. Though I do not imagine that Kondobarov is going to be bothered by a little bit of a flash. Again, the Aston looking really strong. Is it going to be able to do anything here in the brakes? No, it can't. The Ferrari goes in. The Aston, pretty much all its air intake is just Ferrari exhaust fumes. Not a lot of fresh air. I think we just heard the tyres there, though, on car number 31, just beyond the limit of their grip. Absolutely love this shot. The rear wing shot is absolutely fantastic. Get a really good idea of the difference in speed. Aston had a good run then. You can see the gap closing. He's already looking to the inside, then darts across to get in the tow. And these two drivers have been absolutely squabbling it out cleanly for so long. It's been an absolutely fantastic pleasure to watch. Just under 20 minutes of the race left to go now. Just want to quickly point out Kabaki up in 9th place in the GTR, so we'll might have to have a little jump back just to see a GTR inside the top 10 in Tier 2. It's Tier 2 Tuesdays. Join us here. I think it's for 8 weeks this time round. There's quite a few races to go. Every Tuesday, 7:30 PM for Tier 2, and it's Tier 1 on Monday at 7:30s. Oh, and there's a big mistake there from the Aston. Manages to hold on to it, but we saw it absolutely perfectly. Threw the car in, the back end let go a little bit, and just about manages to save it. But that is exactly what Kondobarov is going to want. Just a little bit of breathing room. He can now possibly just take a breather. He doesn't have to go defensive. He doesn't have to watch his mirrors for just 5 minutes, and he can just have a little relax. They're everywhere. It's Aston Martin versus Ferrari all over the grid, it would seem. This is Bazov being chased down by Kuchowski. Walter Billin in front of him as well. It's another driver who we've seen lots and lots of this evening. Badowski as well. We've seen him join this fight. Hasn't been able to clear anyone yet. And he's going to have to be careful because along comes number 187, the Porsche. Pokarubba. Oh, here we go. Nathaniel Shirley under attack from, I think it was Chris Vining. Yes, looks to the inside. Mercedes versus Lexus. Two absolute brutes. It does seem that Vining is very, very confident on the brakes. He's very late on the brakes. And it's almost catching him out a few times. We saw it earlier on here where we got into the back of someone. In fact, it might have even been these two drivers, if I'm not mistaken. But for now, 26th place stays in the hands of Nathaniel Shirley in the number 25 Lexus. Luke Aziz there just nipping through the front of the shot. Oh, and we jump on board here for a move. And that is Lejekas getting their way past Fernandez. He does get it done, just cuts off the nose and gets the move done. Lejekas goes down one position and is now under attack from Kabaki. So this is battles inside the top 10. We've got the homing missile as well, sniffing around the back of this group. I think a fair few of our sort of returning Tier 2 drivers, again, are probably astounded by the pace of some of our newer drivers. We've definitely seen Fernandez before. We've definitely seen Lejekas and Holm. I think Jimmy Holm is actually returning to Tier 2. I think he was Tier 1 last season. Didn't have the best season in Tier 1 last time round. He's back in Tier 2. But as we said, the overlap of drivers is pretty big. There isn't sort of an obvious multiple second gap. The overlap of times is pretty significantly close. You say everyone again here doing low 143s. This little battle looking lovely. Lejekas is slowly starting to get away in that Grello Porsche. This seems to be the battle to keep an eye on at the moment. And a little bit further back, Jonathan Clifford again having a nice little squabble with Meegans. So, less than a quarter of the race left to go. 14 minutes on the clock. So that'll be 14 minutes and then a final lap. These two continuing to push on hard. Walter Billin. Oh, has Walter Billin lost a load of positions there? We're going to go back. We're going to go back a little bit. Yes, I think he did lose some positions, let's say, because he was in a Ferrari sandwich as they come down to the end of the back straight. Oh, and he goes deep. Goes deep and rotates. Oh, gets a big slide on the marbles, loses 2 positions. Not what they would have wanted. And now that 187 Porsche all over the back of him. Pokarubba, who actually has made his way past that Golf liveried McLaren. So Pokarubba definitely on a bit of a charge. In fact, yeah, his lap times are looking significantly better than everyone else around him. So it's simply a case of he's stuck in traffic. I think he's looking to keep moving forward, and he's right on the back of Walter Billin. So I'm glad we went back to that little battle. Possible move, not quite. You know what, we're going to do it. We're going to go on the rear wing of the screaming McLaren, looking back. Oh, a little bit wide there from the Porsche. Can we see an improvement here? Oh, a big spit of flames for the McLaren. It's looking like that little mistake. Oh, and again the Porsche goes deep, and now the inside is opened up. We'll keep an eye on the battle from behind. Robert. So Robert has gone from being the attacker to being attacked. Battle going up a bit further ahead as well. This is the battle for 4th place. This one's still going on. Fernandez as well under attack into turn 1. Manages to hold on to it. Again, you can see the difference in these slightly more modern GT3 cars. A lot more aero dependence compared to these more tyre, mechanical, grip heavy older cars such as the GTR and the Lexus. GTR running that slightly wider line. Still looking to try and get through. I'm not sure where the weakness of the BMW is going to show. Can the GTR get a decent run here? It is right on the bumper. It's wringing its neck. But Jimmy Holm as well is absolutely going for it. And now Jimmy Holm goes to the outside, tries to outbrake. Tries to go round. Can he get it done? No, he can't. Has to dip back in. Don't think it helps that Kubacki is also really pushing and trying to attack the back of Fernandez. So Holm is sort of trying to get round a car that isn't the most predictable in the world. Again, Jimmy Holm is probably hoping that these two are going to trip up over each other and give him a little bit of an opportunity. But look, it's only right now that we have just under 10 minutes of the race left to go. Let's have a little bit of a run through the top order. So, leading the race at the moment is Milos Stamankovic. He's been leading pretty much every single lap of this race. Ryan Cooper, who at the beginning of this race had an absolutely valiant effort, and then we did see just a little bit of a mistake, and then that gap finally opened up. He's been running in 2nd place for a long old time now. Nestorov in 3rd place. Kind of been in a little bit of no man's land most of this race, but has kept the nose clean, powder dry, and has just held on to that podium position. Kondabarov, who has been in a constant squabble for 4th place with car number 409 and has not had a moment to breathe for nearly, well, over 50 minutes now. That's Sebastian Erdmann who has been on the attack. We have David in the 728 McLaren running in 6th place. They've had a fairly decent sort of run to themselves. Haven't been involved in too many squabbles. They've managed to just keep themselves nicely inside that top 10. Points mean prizes. You don't necessarily always need to go for absolute broke. You just want a nice pointsy weekend, to quote Tom Ingram. So Lejekas in the Grello Porsche running in 7th place. Again, this is a driver that's finally managed to break free of the squabbles and is now on a bit of a run. Fernandez still being chased down by Kubacki, who is still being chased down by Jimmy Holm, although it looks like Jimmy Holm has finally dropped off the back of them a little bit. But that is your top 10 as it stands. Fernandez goes to the inside, super defensive. Round goes Kubacki, gets it done. Can he hold on to it? It's going to have to be the widest GTR in the world now to try and hold it together. Yeah, and just about does. In fact, let's go. I think the battle's still continuing. I was about to go back and see if we could watch it, but I don't want to miss anything. Kubacki happened to go pretty defensive there. That slowed the pair of them down. Jimmy Holm now right back in the fold as well. He is looking to make a move. Little look to the inside, just trying to unsettle that 223 car, the BMW. And in fact, I think Holm had to get out the throttle a little bit there to avoid an incident. So now the car's gone through. He's pushing away. Ow! This is Jesse Lejekas. I'm presuming this is either partner or family, and I really hope you can let me know if I am pronouncing the name correctly, because I've been saying it for a few seasons now, and hopefully I'm getting it right. As you can see, Kubacki has finally broken away from this squabble. Just over 6.5 minutes left to go. Jimmy Holm now on the back of Fernandez, and now that Fernandez has lost one position, it can sometimes get into your head. Oh, car number 26. Car number 26 we've just seen go yellow flag. See if we can find them quickly on the list. Car number 26 was... That was Balaki. That was Balaki. So what happened there? We're going to go back 30 seconds. But this is a different... No, sorry. This is not Balaki. This is... Oh! Gets rotated round. Just about manages to get off of those tyres. I'm amazed it managed to get himself out of that hole. That was absolutely ginormous great hole. Car number 26. So this is, I'm guessing, Michael Balicki. And then further up the list, which I can't believe I haven't noticed until now, we have got... And I've lost them on the list. Where have they gone? Am I blind? I'm blind, apparently. Kubacki. Okay, I'm just having a bit of a senior moment there. I do apologise, everybody at home. Right, Fernandez versus Jimmy Holm. This seems to be the closest battle realistically going on at the moment. This is just inside the top 10. There's a couple of other little squabbles here and there, but this is definitely the closest time-wise on the circuit. Oh, that's nice to see the family out there for Lejekas. Absolutely fantastic. So Lejekas is one of those racers we've seen him a fair few times here in Tier 2. Becoming a bit of a veteran of Tuesday evenings. Looks like Fernandez has finally got himself back into his groove and is again pushing forward. I am surprised Jimmy Holm went for this car again. I didn't think he was going to stick with the Lamborghini, but he is sticking with it. I know it is one of those cars where you really have to run incredibly low TC to keep it competitive, so it's certainly not a car I could ever drive. A little bit of a battle coming up in front here, though, is Lejekas versus the back of David. With 3.5 minutes left to go, Lejekas could seriously gain a position here and get himself up into 6th place. They really... Oh, and a massive dive up the inside. Well done. They both gave each other room. It was pretty opportunistic. Does get run wide on the exit there. I mean, I'm not really sure where they were going to go, but fair play for giving it a send up the inside. They both gave each other room. And now the McLaren desperately trying to break the toe that is being given to the Porsche. Can Lejekas do anything into turn 1? Going all the way out onto the racing line. Going to try and go around the outside. We've seen it work once or twice. They rub, they trade a bit of paint. It wasn't too much, but yes, Lejekas goes through, takes away 6th position. I think there's a little bit more black paint on the green and a bit more green on the black. And it's looking like, well, it doesn't look like David was overly pleased with that. From the commentary booth, it didn't look too bad. It just looked like hard racing. But it was certainly a little bit of contact there. I don't think it was much more than a little rub, though. But that'll be one for the stewards. Obviously, what you have to do here in Tier 2 is there's no live stewarding. So any penalties you see appear on screen... Oh! Hang on then. What happened then? Did we just lose one of our drivers? That's the first time I've ever seen that. It randomly teleported us to the pits for a brief moment of time. Very strange. Right, minute and 47 seconds left of the race. It's still all going on. Lejek is up into 6th place. I don't think that David is going to be able to bring this fight back. I do promise I am going to learn the correct pronunciation of the last name of David. I do not want to keep butchering it over and over again during this stream, but I will learn it correctly for next round. And so I apologise greatly to any fans of car number 728. Daniel Fernandez is still in a battle with Jimmy Holm. Still not been able to break away. And Jimmy Holm as well still hasn't been able to take any positions away. Rightis Lucas in the back as well. He's running down in 18th place. Still squabbling along. Now, I'm not sure, but this might end up being the very last lap. Possibly, depending on where people are. We've got 48 seconds left of the race. Currently, leader is just about to come through turn 9. Also gained the fastest lap of the race as well now with a 1:43.115. It's positively quiet up this end of the grid, isn't it? Goodness gracious, with everyone spaced out. I think this is going to be the final. This is going to be the final lap. If it's not, it's going to be incredibly close. Yeah, 100% it's going to be the final lap. So coming through the chicane for the very last time, car number 2, the Bentley that has led every lap of the race apart from during the pit stop period. Very nearly lost it to Cooper during the pits. But there we go. Comes across the line. First place goes to Stamenkovic. Ryan Cooper comes across the line in 2nd place. Nestorov, 3rd position, comes across the line. Very, very close between them. Kondobarov and Erdmann coming across in 4th and 5th respectively. Where's the Checkers? There we go. Calvin Lejeckers coming across the line, 6th place. David coming across in 7th. Kubacki in 8th place. Jimmy Holm in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is... Oh, there we go. Rounding out the top 10 is Ten Brinker. Absolutely fantastic. And thank you very much, Jesse Lejeckers, for donating a little bit of money towards us. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, well, that is it. That is the end of the actual race. So fingers crossed we're going to have some brave souls that are willing to come and join me in the commentary booth. I would really, really appreciate it if some of the racers did. So if you know any of the guys, or if you're watching any of their streams specifically, tell them to come and jump in the comms box. I'm very friendly. English doesn't have to be your first language. It's not a scary place. But yeah, if anyone wants to jump in, that'd be absolutely fantastic. So that is round 1 of Apex Online Racing's Tier 2. So, if you want more of this, Monday at 7:30 is Tier 1. That is the Tippy Top Boys. And then Tuesdays, same time, 7:30, is Tier 2, which is what you've just witnessed, which really isn't that big of a difference between Tier 1 and Tier 2. It really is nothing between them. And there we go. We can get a bit of an idea of what it looks like there on screen. So while we are waiting for people to join the commentary booth, we'll just have a little hover on here. Whereabouts did Ziege come in the end? He was 24th, and I believe Ziege qualified all the way down in 39th. So that was a big old improvement for them. They'll be pretty pleased with that. Right, so let's go to something a little bit more aesthetically pleasing than just the timing board. But there you go. That is what we had. That is the view of what we had during the race. It was absolutely fantastic. I don't think anyone was really expecting it to be a Bentley front row, but it somehow managed to hold on to a Bentley front row. So far, no one has been brave enough. Let's go to something a little bit more pretty to look at, shall we? So 2 seconds while we change across. Turn the music off for now, but there we go. Oh, I mean, it was an absolutely fantastic first race of the season. There was a little bit of argy-bargy from a few people in places, but again, that is what you need to do. Is anybody in the race who decides they want to put in a report, they have to make sure they report it to the stewards. It will be reviewed and penalties will be put in place before next time round. We're going to hang on a little bit longer in the hopes that maybe someone wants to come and join us for an interview, but I don't think they're going to, which is a bit of a shame, but hopefully for next time they'll feel a bit more confident with it. It can sometimes be a scary thing jumping in with all of us lot, but thank you ever so much for joining me here this evening for Apex Online Racing Sprint Cup Series. I believe we are Indianapolis next time round, so that'll be an interesting one. I've never actually commentated there before. But yeah, thank you ever so much for joining us, and we will see you all on Monday. And if we don't see you Monday, we'll hopefully see you Tuesday, 7:30s. Thank you very much.
It's Noah's Ark 2x2 formation. Let's change now. We go racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action is go.
It's very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in. This has all got trouble written all over it. This is G3 cars.
Drop downhill there, head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they